My biggest fear is to be wildly successful. That's what a designer wrote in her questionnaire last week. I onboarded her, we had the kickoff call, and I talked to her about this because I needed context to understand why she was scared or afraid to be wildly successful. And it's all going to make sense. I'm sure a lot of designers are going through this right now. So I thought I would do a quick video to talk about what it meant for her to be afraid to be wildly successful. A little bit of context, it's a designer who is talented, like a lot of you. She's talented, she finds projects by word of mouth, but she never looks for projects. Sometimes she gets an inquiry, she will not even answer the email. She will just completely disregard it. And it's surprising because designers usually struggle to find clients, and for her, she gets the inquiries, but she doesn't answer them because she's scared to take on more than one project at a time. And for a little bit more context, the project that she's working on right now, she tends to underestimate or she tends to undercharge. It's not the projects that she thinks are ideal client material because they're not paid very much, but it's the only ones that she feels comfortable taking on. And she is extremely good and at wanting to provide a really good service, so she tends to over-deliver. We see a lot of designers do that. They want to provide a good experience, except that great experience, that great level of service was never baked into their fee, so they end up doing a lot of extra work for free, then feel resentful, they're not profitable, they feel like they're going to have to quit their business, that it's not working, that they can't do it. And it's kind of all this mindset work that happens, right? Because they don't feel like they are good enough to barely handle that one project. So how could they handle better clients and more projects? Impossible. And that's what we need to look at. When I digged a bit deeper with her about the way that her business was set up, the way that she was working, how long projects took, etc., we realized that she was constantly feeling overworked and overwhelmed because she kept doing the same thing over and over again. It's the mental load that is the hardest, because when you put all your energy into doing things like admin or trying to remember where you put that template that you saved 6 months ago, or you're supposed to send something at onboarding but you're not sure what, this is all this mental energy that you need to be working on the business and on the projects, not just for admin. So rewriting the same inquiry emails every time, forgetting to send things at onboarding, like she forgot the welcome packet at onboarding, knowing she has those documents and those resources somewhere, doesn't know where, feeling like she's redoing things instead of building on something solid. The bottom line is everything that's happening is draining her energy. She thinks she lacks self-discipline, she lacks organization. And when she thinks about being wildly successful, which would be to be able to take on multiple projects and not feel so drained, she's not picturing freedom or money. She's just picturing more admin, more inquiries, more projects overlapping, more things to remember, more chances that she's going to miss a deadline or drop the ball. Success in her mind, it just looks like managing more chaos than she's already dealing with. And she knows her business is not set up properly, and that's why she's struggling, but yet she doesn't know what to do. And yes, downloading a few templates there or finding a software that helps her with the part of her business is great, but when you don't know how they work together, it creates more friction, it creates more stress, and it is just a lot of stuff that you have that you'll feel bad because you're not using them, but you just don't know how to use them in the first place. And when I hear this, it's very clear to me that the first thing that we have to do is we cannot jump into bringing help straight away. Because if your business is not supporting you now, adding more people will just add more chaos to manage. So before I push her to take on more projects, I need to help her see that she has the ability to take on more projects and support her in building that business that can support those projects. So together we're going to be strengthening the foundations of her business It starts with how inquiries are handled. So she's not writing the same emails from scratch every time or second guessing what to send. She has a clear process. She knows what happens. And even before we talk about automation, when you have a clear process and you know the steps, you know what needs to happen, you know, you can't answer an email in 2 seconds without thinking about it for 2 hours, especially at the inquiry phase. There's so much that can be there's so much opportunity for you to use templates at this stage. So it's about saving time, but also feeling like you don't have to use mental energy to think about what's next, because you're clear about what needs to happen next. And remember that first touch point, that first communication that you have with the person inquiring is either going to show you as someone who took 3 days to answer an email, or it's going to show you as, I can trust her, she's professional, then like her process is next level, I want to work with her. And same thing for the onboarding. We want to have a clear process about what happens and what's in the welcome pack, what information needs to be in there, so that clients don't need to send emails asking for the next step. They know exactly what's happening and they're not guessing. We're also going to be organizing her resources and all the information that she has so far, so it doesn't live in her head. It's clear on paper. She doesn't need to try to remember everything. We're also going to be looking at her pricing and her scoping structure, because right now it's not working. She's always undercharging. She ends projects feeling like she's barely made any money, and so of course it's not going to support delegation. And we're defining what kind of support is going to actually make sense for her. She's not someone who does CAD drawings. So the support that we're bringing to the table is going to elevate her projects. She's not going to have to worry about drawings that she doesn't know how to do. She doesn't need to train to do AutoCAD or SketchUp. She already has the trained team. And once her pricing can support that level of delegation, then she's not only going to make the profits, but she's going to be able to delegate those parts of the projects that she cannot do herself. Mindset was also an important thing that we need to tackle together, because she has a lot of blocks around what she thinks she's capable of doing. She doesn't see herself as a business owner. She's just seeing herself as a designer who's scrambling to try to do things, and then she can't do the drawings, and then she's forgetting to send important pieces of information. So we need to shift. We need a complete identity shift. Put her in her role as CEO, business owner, whatever you want to call yourself, who is running a design business, someone who knows exactly what needs to happen and when, someone who knows what her role is within her business, what is hers to do and what is not hers to do. And once we build that mindset shift, it's going to help everything else. So if you feel like mindset is not important at all, it's key. It's the only way that you can grow, so that it's also an important part of what we do in the Profitable Designer method. Is basically just a one-on-one container. For 3 months, you work with me one-on-one and we work on everything. We will base everything that we do around your project, so it's not additional work. You don't need to take 3 months off to work on everything. We work together on your projects, so you understand how to structure them, how to become a business owner, how to spend those 2 hours every week working on the business and not on the projects. And slowly you start streamlining your process for everything to become smoother, but you also change the way that you think about your business, about your projects, and about yourself. So when I start working with a designer, even on the first call, the discovery call, I ask tons of questions, because I want to understand where you stand, why your projects are not bringing you the profits that you would expect, why you're so overwhelmed even though you only have one project on right now. When I understand that, I understand how to fix, what part of the business to fix, so that it can start supporting you and you can start growing and reaching your goals. And for you, I created a free resource. It's called the Design Business Audit, and it's going to help you pinpoint the areas of your business that are keeping you stuck and what would need to change for you to be able to reach your next goal. You can download it for free in the description. I'll see you in the next video.